Hello, my name is Carol Arnold. I'm with Listability, and thank you for joining us for our instructional videos for real estate investors. We want to help you get off the starting line for your real estate investment business by helping you get a list to jumpstart your direct mail campaigns. The list that you want to create will be customized for your geographic area and have the criteria that fit the owner characteristics and the property characteristics that you want for your campaign. Listabilityonline.com is our online web portal to pull down mailing lists, and we'll be working today on the absentee homeowner list and specifically how to use our additional selections. This will be selecting criteria to narrow down your list to get the best prospective sellers. We have additional videos that you can watch for doing things like selecting the geography and actually placing your order. When you come over to listabilityonline.com, the first thing we want to make sure is that you have a user ID and password. If you don't, go ahead and click on Register Now. It'll take you through the steps. Otherwise, enter in your username, password, leave it at professional version, and click on Registered Users Login. As soon as you're logged in, take a look up at the Listability Online logo and make sure it has your name and your user ID up in this corner. Otherwise, you are not logged in. You won't be able to save any of your reports. We have a number of files, but today we're going to be focusing on the master absentee homeowner list. To open things up, you'll see the great big blue letters here. Click to start count, click on the picture to the left. So you're going to be clicking on the picture of the house that's in the hand. The first screen that comes up allows you to enter in geography. It also has the listing of various training videos that you can come back to the geography tab at any time and take a look at the training videos again. First, we're going to be going to additional selections, dark blue tab at the top. And once we click additional selections, we're going to click on the box that has all selections. As you can see, there are quite a few options that you can use to create a list, but we're just going to be looking at a few today. These are the most popular selections that people will use to narrow down their list. Owner type, property type, what the property's worth, does the owner have equity, how long have they owned the home, do you want seniors, do you want to have specific home sizes. The first thing to look at is owner type. The absentee owner list has the absentee owner as the default, and to give a definition to what an absentee owner is, it's someone who owns property that they don't live in. Their primary address could be any place in the U.S., and the primary address is defined as where the tax bill is sent. On this file, you can mix and match owner-occupied and absentee owners. As you look through this list with the all selections, you can see they're in alphabetical order. And the first thing, again, we're going to look at the homeowner type. You can see it's pre-selected. We're going to click on the words homeowner type detail, and it's going to open up the options. And this is where you would be able to select owner occupied if you wished. I'm going to back up here a little bit and click back to the geography tab. And as I said, we do have a separate video on selecting property location, but I'm just going to quickly go in and enter in zip codes for Essex County. So I clicked on property zip/SCF code. At the drop down, I'm choosing county, Essex. I'm selecting Massachusetts and search. Select all, add selected. Again, this was very quickly, so I want you to go back and watch that video if you need more help with this. The next criteria we'll be looking at is the property type detail. This is where you get to choose if you want single family homes, condominiums, multifamily with 2 to 4 units, or even 5+ unit apartment buildings. I will give you a heads up that the file does not have many 5+ unit apartment buildings because we're mostly focused on people that own the properties rather than companies that own the properties. Back to additional selections, all selections. As we scroll down the list, these are alphabetical order, so scroll down to the P's, define property type detail. Click on the words, which are a link, and it'll bring up the choices. I'm going to choose just single family homes for this exercise. One of the choices you get is to determine how much you want the houses to be worth. Do you want $1 million homes or do you want to limit? Now, the home market value uses the assessed value along with other market factors to make a best guess at what a home could sell for. Again, scroll down. Again, you're going to scroll down to find home market value range. Click on the words home market value range, and I'm going to be checking in. This is up to from 50,000 up to 450,000. This would be a good time to see how many records we have that fit the criteria that we've entered in so far. So in the upper left hand corner under the logo, I'm going to click on the button that says recalculate. This now shows that there are 7,277 records. It's quite a few, but we have a lot more criteria to enter in that will narrow things down, because we certainly wouldn't want to spend stamps on all the people that don't meet our criteria. The next step is going to be equity. Do you want homeowners that have high equity, or does it matter? If it doesn't matter, you can just leave this out. But if you do want high equity owners, we use the loan to value range. And loan to value, or LTV, is calculated based on the original amount of their most recent mortgages and compares that to the current home market value of the home. And a low number equals high equity. And there are some areas, I just want to point out, there are some areas that don't provide the loan information to us, so we don't have an LTV that we're able to calculate, and we may need to include some of the unknowns. And there are some areas also that supply the information for us to calculate the LTV on some but not all properties. A familiar theme, we're going to scroll down to the L's, to loan to value range, and I'd like to point out that if you see both a loan to, here we have a loan to value range and a loan to value range V2. The V2 stands for version 2, and eventually the first version are going to be eliminated, and then this will be in there as just plain loan to value range. Clicked on the words, and I'm coming up. I'm going to click on 0, 1 to 49, and 50 to 59. This means that they have at least 41% equity based on the original loan amount. It's going to be, there will definitely have more equity than that because they've been making loan payments since they took the loan out that are not included or calculated into the loan to value. Clicking on recalculate, and this should bring the number down quite a bit, and it did. It brought it down to 2,000, and I'm suspecting that there's a lot of unknown loan to values on this group of people. So I'm going to click on the uncoded to include those and click on recalculate again. By choosing this, we have specifically eliminated all the people that we know have low equity, even though we're including the unknowns. This brought it back up to 3,900, which is a good number to be working with since we're going to be adding some more criteria. Next question we ask is, how long do you want the owners to have owned the home? So working in conjunction with the loan to value, the longer they've owned the home, the more equity they will be having. But also it could be getting people that are just not interested in owning a home, owning a second home after, say, 10 years. We'll show another way to find the criteria as we go to purchase date. Up here, I'm going to type in purchase, and here we have the purchase date. Click on the words, and we need to put in a range. So I usually start with 01, 01, 1950, and if we want them to have owned the home 10 years, we'll go back 10 years from today, and since this is December 2015, I'm going to give it to 12/31/2015. So that's 10 years. Click on recalculate. You do not have to click recalculate each time, but sometimes it helps to see, if the numbers go way down, what factor might be taking them down. And I did not mean to do 2015. So what I meant to do was 2005. That's what I get for talking. So now we are at 2,178. Since I have a little bit more criteria and I want to be able to eliminate some of the zip codes later on, I'm going to increase this to 2008 and click on recalculate. That looks better. With the purchase date in there, and we're going to go to adult age is another option. Some people like to have seniors. Adult age is the first one. You'd bring it up. It comes in 2-year increments. So if you wanted people that were, say, 60 plus, you would check the boxes. In this case, I'm not going to select age. A few more things that you might consider is the home size. In many areas, we're able to specify the home size in square footage, number of bedrooms, and number of bathrooms. And back at the list of selections, these are a little bit trickier because it's under home size square feet, and then the number of bedrooms and bathrooms are under of number of bedrooms and number of bathrooms. And again, you would be able to type in bed to get the criteria to come up. At this point, I'm not going to be further limiting my list, but I'd like to talk about a few of the buttons down here. View selections allows you to see the criteria that you've put in so far. So these are all the zip codes that are in Essex County that I selected, the home market value ranges that we have in there, loan to value ranges. Save means save and leave. You can hit save if you're going to be getting a phone call and want to make sure you don't lose the work you've done, but you'll have to make a copy of what you've done and come back in. View pricing. Once you have calculated and gotten a total, you're able to click on the view pricing button and that brings up a pop-up. You'll click on estimate pricing from my count, and this will show you the unit cost for each of the items. These are unit costs for single use, and it's based on per 1,000 records. So you can see the pricing, and it comes up to $229 for my 2,548 records. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Reports is your friend. Reports will calculate, save, and lets you name your report. It will also allow you to get breakdowns. And so we're going to leave this at breakdown by geography, say next. And here we're going to check all the boxes, include pricing with my report, and then check all the criteria boxes down below to get breakdowns. Under search information, the search description one-line box, we're deleting everything that's in there, and I get to name this count. We'll call this Essex County Zips, and then submit report. You may need to scroll down to find the submit report. When it comes up with you can make a copy of this search, come on up to previous counts, and you can see here's the count that we just did. It has 2,548. If this says running when you come in, it means it hasn't completed doing the report, and you can just refresh the screen again by clicking on previous counts. You can make a copy and go in and make changes, or click on view order to see the breakdowns. And this describes the criteria that you've used, the additional selections, shows a breakdown by zip code and by home market value range. You can use these to pick and choose what zips you do or do not want, and also make adjustments that, well, maybe I don't really need the top price range. In this case, I'm also going to want to eliminate some of the zip codes. Here's an area that I might not think is a great market, so I can see that I can take out from 01840 through 01843. Also maybe, some others you can go through and pick and choose. Scroll back up to the top, and where we had copy rerun on that main report screen, we have a modify rerun in here. What this is going to do is make a copy of the count that you have, but allow you to make changes and save a new one. I'm going to click on the words over here where it's listed under the logo all the way down. You can see that it says property zip codes, and then it also has the criteria that you've used. I'm going to click on property zip codes and go in and delete the zips that I do not want. So now that I've taken those out, I don't need to recalculate right now. I'm just going to ask for another report. And go through the same drill, breakdown by geography next, name the report, Essex without Lawrence, and submit report. You can watch other videos about going into more depth on selecting the geography, selecting where you want the owner to live if you want them to be out of area, and also we have another video based on doing placing your order and downloading. So thank you very much, and good luck with your campaign.